So to leave them at this stage of the season, just right in the mix for that top four.
Right in the mix. And we're talking the games they got coming up this month alone. Palace, Arsenal, Villa, Zagreb in the Europa League. This could be a pivotal month for them. I mean, they get through that, you know, and then you come into April. And you know what it's like, really, when you get into April, May, and it's near the end of the season, you go, last little kick now, come on. I mean, that could put them in massive stead.
What's been a big thing is they've been a team that's probably been kicked from pillar to post by pundits, by the media, different parts of the media, because of the way they've played at times, the inconsistencies. And now they seem a team who've got momentum. They're a team that can looking above them and saying that that's not out of reach. We've got something to play for. They've got a cup final. Imagine they win the cup final as well. Yeah. The confidence that then flows through this team is such a different place to go into the training ground on a weekly basis then, and the picture changes dramatically. So I think Jojo, we're sitting there, we saw him walking off before, a little smirk on his face. You can see that there may be a little bit of a change in the dynamics of the place at the moment.
But does it not bother you that it is hard to watch at times?
Yeah, but listen, at this stage of the season, you've got your four players, the attacking players on the pitch who you've been waiting to get all season, or for whatever reason they haven't made it onto the pitch. They're on there now, and they seem to be clicking. You're seeing some sort of rhythm with this team. In the first half, at times, they were brilliant to watch. Yeah, they didn't get the end product, but you saw signs that actually this is something they can build upon. And listen, don't forget, before the game, we're talking about a Fulham team, defensively, who've been the best in the last 5 games in the Premier League. 1 goal conceded in 5. So hard game today. Craven Cottage coming here, I know we haven't got the fans here, but it's always a hard place to come here. So to get a clean sheet and a 1-0 win here is a very good result.
I mean, like today's game, it ebbs and flows, isn't it? You know, they was in full force, half-time come, Fulham come out on the ascendance. That's always going to happen. Yeah. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago we was in the studio against Chelsea, and it was like, what are they doing? What is their plan? Are they going?
Would you not have rather seen them go for it though? 1-0 up at Fulham, team struggling to survive in the Premier League. Go and blow them away. Go and do what you did against Burnley.
Games and again about me up that. Sometimes you just get on the back foot, and the other team just get the ascendance, and it's a bit like Harry Kane today. I mean, he wasn't really involved in it at all. You know, the talisman that's always been there, and it just goes out on like that. But Spurs fans at home be watching that, going, right, come on. Like you say, release the handbrake, let's go for it. But with a Jose, you know what he's going to be like. He's going to be pragmatic, he's going to be professional, and whatever it takes to win a game.
And the players, trust me, and the manager and the staff will be in there going, right, that's 1 chalked off, 3 points. Forget the performance. There's a few things we might want to work on, but the most important thing, we've got the 3 points. Job done.
Let's talk about Dele Alli. He was involved in the goal. We can see the goal now. And it was interesting at full time, Rio saw him with a smile on his face, Steve, and said, we've not seen enough of that from Dele Alli in the last few months, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see someone playing with freedom. Like, look at the hunger and the desire. Get in the box. You know, it just doesn't come off for him there in terms of him scoring, but creates the goal that's ultimately won Spurs the game. But you want to see when he plays with a smile and that freedom on him. You know, he had that relationship today with Harry Kane when Harry was coming short and he was going in long. It was like the old Dele was back.
I feel there's something today that I have not seen from him for a while, and what Steve just touched on there is that running beyond the striker.
Yeah,
that is how he made his name. That is what excited everybody about him, getting into the box, a bit like Frank Lampard, getting into the box and then being cold once he gets in there. And he kind of, I don't know whether it was from tactical, from the staff, from the management, or he just lost his way a little bit, knowing what he was good at and remembering what he was good at. That is what Dele is best at. Dele is best at understanding and the timing of the runs in and around the box and being a danger man. Look, even little bits like that. And then this is what we asked for, the creativity. Fantastic ball, should do better on the end of it. But more importantly, his runs off the ball, I think, top level when he gets it right. His timing, his understanding of where to be. Look at him there. That's like playing as a second striker. Again, once he gets his rhythm back, that's a chance on goal.
Yeah, he's worked great all round. In terms of on and off the ball, a professional performance. He looked fresh, he looked happy, and that can only go well for Spurs. And hopefully, you know, get him in the England fold as well.
Yeah, and that's his touch map out there today, 39 touches. And we saw the stats as well, showing him basically top of the tree for stats for Spurs in that game. He only played 67 minutes. He didn't last the full 90.
He did. And a lot of his touches weren't coming back towards the ball, which is what I would have criticised him for in recent times going back, where he was getting the criticism. He's better when he's facing onto the game and running onto things. And today I thought he was magnificent for that 60 minutes.
So is this it then, in terms of the way you think Jose wants to play with his team at the moment, particularly with those 4 attacking players that we saw today? Or is it still going to be a case of he plays one time and then Lamela starts and Moura starts and he chops and changes?
Well, that's the competition competition you've got at big clubs, and it's your own desire, your own work ethic, maybe a bit of luck or chance that you get in the team, but there's competition for places now, and whatever that front four is, because he's always going to go with that kind of back four, midfield two, and then the front four go and win us the game. Whoever it is, there's quality there.
I'll tell you what as well, when you've got a front four like that, what it does, it says to the other players in the team, we just do our job. We haven't got to think about trying to open teams up ourselves as individuals and as a collective. We stay behind that, go and let them four win the game for us. That's a beautiful place to be as a defender especially. You haven't got to overexert yourself and overcomplicate things. Yeah. Play simple, keep it tight, then four win us the game.
And you know what, at this stage, with Harry Kane and everyone around him looking fit, and they're in the League Cup final, and they've got a winnable 2 legs in the Europa League to make it through to the quarterfinals in that competition, and they're suddenly looking like they're knocking on the door of the top 4. The momentum feels like it's coming to Tottenham at just the perfect time.
It's a perfect time, business end of the season, and again, like what Ree said, these games here you just chalk off one by one, and you do that by stages. Get to the end of this month, and then if they come out this well when they're right in the mix. Performances, I mean, games and wins paper over the cracks. You literally get on with the next one, and by the time we get into May, they could be top 4 and into Europe.
Could have been oh so different though from a Fulham perspective if it wasn't for this handball law that I don't think any of us are fans of. Look, we're not saying that anyone got it wrong this evening in terms of a refereeing decision. It's just simply the law, and it's a madness.
And it's crazy. And if you see the reaction from the Fulham players after this happens, when the decision gets made, a lot of them are standing there going, oh, but it only hit my arm. My arm wasn't out from my body. It wasn't like I stretched my arm out. It's not about that. The rule states exactly what you said before. It states that if it hits your hand,
leading to a goal, leading to a goal,
then they'll give it.
And that's the real frustration for people. Is we talk all the time about this blooming silhouette now. Oh, his arm's outside. It doesn't matter in this instance. Your arm can be right by your side. It can be hit at you full pelt from 4 yards away.
Stupid rule.
And it's disallowed.
Yeah, I mean, again, if it is outside the silhouette, or if it's high and it creates a goal scoring opportunity or a goal, then fair enough. But when it's there and it's 4 yards away, what can you do? You can't do anything about that.
Well, you heard Ian mention during commentary that IFAB are going to have a meeting and just have a little play around perhaps with the rules. Let's bring Peter Walton into the conversation. So, Peter, give us a bit more sort of meat on the bones.
Yes, it is. It's IFAB are the lawmakers, as we know. And it's made up of the four countries, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, and 4 representatives from FIFA. And what they do on an annual basis are to discuss the laws and any changes that law may be required. That meeting happens on a virtual platform tomorrow, and in fact it's being chaired by the Welsh FA. Handball, by the way, is number 6 on the agenda item.
OK, and what are they going to discuss about handball? Are we talking about a law change being implemented tomorrow that will come into force for next season, maybe?
Well, there's a possibility of a law change happening, and if there are any changes to that law, that will be implemented from the 1st of June. And what they'll look at are the clarity. We've had a lot of tinkering with the handball law this year, as we know, this season. And they'll look for clarity and perhaps propose certain changes to make it even easier for us all to understand what the law is.
On that meeting tomorrow, is there going to be any like ex-professional footballers there, or like with common sense and all them type of things that we need to make
right? Well,
these type of decisions and these rules? Because that is a silly. Do you agree that's a silly rule?
Well, look, that's a fair comment you made there, although there will be a lot of sense in that room tomorrow. There may not be an ex-professional footballer. However, there are technical committees that feed into tomorrow's meeting with their views and their ideas. So ex-professional footballers are part of that law change and happening, and hopefully we'll have some clarity come from it tomorrow. There is just one other item on the agenda that will raise people's eyebrows, and they'll be discussing the offside and the offside law as it stands at the moment. So let's hope and see what comes out from tomorrow's meeting.
Pete, are we saying like with this rule that it's still going to be sort of tinkered with, but it's still going to be in the motion of black or white, or is it going to be a case of common sense being prevailed? Because you get scenarios like that tonight where it is purely common sense, where it's not done deliberately to get to a goal.
No, I agree with that, Steve. The law was changed only this year when they put in the word immediately. So if the ball brushes a attacker's arm, which leads to a goal scoring opportunity or indeed a goal, immediately, then it's disallowed. And that was done again for clarity, so people understood that yes, it is a black and white law. If it touches your arm deliberately or not, or accidentally, it's going to be given. And people, I think, are accepting that to a certain degree. What they can't accept is if that happens to a defender, then it's not a penalty kick. Why not? So there needs to be some clarity in terms of, well, why is it different for an attacker than a defender?
And we fought all the second half, albeit the other end, where Spurs were kicking into. Funnily enough, it wasn't. It was here. It was all in front of us. Fulham pushing and pushing on. They show great heart. But it's about having that little bit of quality up front to be able to convert and put the ball in the back of the net. They didn't possess it tonight.
OK, thanks, gents. We'll get the reaction from both dressing rooms in a couple of minutes. Let's just show you, though, what else has happened this evening. Only one other game kicking off at the same time as us, and it was West Brom up against Everton. Everton have won that game, which, as you can see now, according to the Premier League table, moves them into a rather interesting spot. Look at that, Everton, 4th in the table after 26 games. And what it means for Tottenham is that despite winning here, it's 4 points between them and the top 4 as things stand. Down towards the bottom, well, as we knew at the start of the night, 3 points from safety. Fulham remain 3 points from safety. You can see a better goal difference as well than Newcastle, so they would have gone out of the bottom 3 with a win here this evening. West Brom, as you saw, they're also beaten at home. They're